It's like the air around me, like the sun upon my face. I feel God's love surrounding me. I am touched by amazing grace. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is already there. Closer than sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body, peace to my mind, and joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer, thank you. My breath is like a song, it's been singing all along, already there, closer than sunlight, nearer than the air. And I breathe in. Can't you just feel the Spirit? Every breath is like a song, we're singing along. There is joy, there is joy, joy in our souls. And I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. It's peace to my body, love to my mind, and joy to my soul. Because it's closer than the sunlight, nearer than the
Join me in prayer. This one God, one life, in the beingness of living it right here and right now. And it's in this place. And I know that Spirit, the thing I call God, is in everything I can sense. And like being a drop of water in the ocean, I may not be able to see it and touch it, and yet I know it is there, always available, in any person, place, or thing and circumstance. I know that this day, as we come together under the umbrella of embracing wholeness, this being perfect and complete, and being surrounded with the arms of love of something much bigger and higher than myself, is shared with everyone, everywhere. It is our unity. It is who we truly are. And as we call to remember in this community, New Dawn, for those of us lucky enough to be here this day and presently in person, or those who watch it later in the week, however it is that we are coming together and communing this day or at any time in the stillness and quietness of love, I appreciate this community, which is held together by many hands, whether it be the musicians, the singer, our audio-visual team, those who set up everything prior to service and break it down afterward, hospitality, my fellow practitioners holding consciousness this day. And whether you are in a mosque, a temple, a teepee, walking in nature, or simply having a cup of tea at home, we come together now with millions of people worldwide to hear Reverend Jenn express herself, her soul, her heart. For the wholeness is number 5 of our core Science of Mind principles, where spirit is transcendent, perfect, and whole. It contains and embraces all seeming opposites. With free will, we choose what to experience, whether positive or negative. The principle that brings freedom, prosperity, and joy also allows the experience of bondage, lack, or misery according to our consciousness. And I'm blessed to be able to say these words, knowing they are true, spoken into the universe, where they are pressed down and returned right now for the highest and best, with everyone's concern. I can release and let go, knowing it is God, it is all good, and together we say, and so it is. According to Mark Twain, what are the 2 most important days of your life? The day you were born and the day you discover why. According to Maya Angelou, you don't need another person, place, or thing to make you whole. God already did that. Your job is to know it. And according to our founder, the honored Dr. Ernest Holmes, we are so one with the whole that what is true of it is also true of us.
Each one of us was created for greatness. The unfortunate piece of that statement is that in our human minds, we have made that out to mean something that it doesn't necessarily mean. Spirit created us in its own likeness. We don't have the same eyes, we don't have the same nose, but the very essence, the very part of who we are is that same essence, that same energy of spirit, of God, if that's the terminology that you're the most comfortable with. We were created for greatness. Just the ability to get out of bed, open our eyes, listen, see, speak, whatever those attributes are that we have, and be a part of this world. All of this is a part of what we're going to be talking about today, embracing our wholeness. There's nothing missing from any one of you. Nothing is broken. There is no dark hole anywhere that has to be filled. These are conditions, possibly. These are ideas that maybe we thought of. These are beliefs that maybe we've grasped somehow, but these are not the truth of our being. And it's so interesting because what we do is we constantly compare. And we don't think we do, but we do. And we find people that we think are great, that are amazing. Oh my gosh, they're out there doing things I could never do. That must mean they're better than me. We take that entire organization, if you want to call it that, of people who perform in movies and films and sing amazing, incredible songs, and they write them, and they're out there and they're performers and they're out doing all this stuff, and we think that they are someone that we have to kind of be in awe of all the time. And can we be in awe of their talent? Absolutely, but it doesn't make us less than. I found this little story I want to share. You see, a few years ago, a woman in Maine took an afternoon walk. She was just having a day. She was just having a regular day, and she's walking down the street, and she's feeling pretty good, and she comes upon an ice cream shop, and she thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to treat myself to some ice cream. And as she opened the door to walk in, she could see that the place was almost completely deserted. However, there was a man sitting back in the back corner. Well, she didn't pay much mind. She came in and she walked up to the counter and she started looking at the different flavors and trying to decide what she wants. And she orders her ice cream. And as she's waiting, she's looking around the restaurant again, and her eyes catch this man again, and she's like, oh my goodness, she almost stopped breathing. She almost fainted on the spot. Right there in the corner of that ice cream parlor sat Paul Newman, a man that she had heartthrobs over her whole life, that beautiful, amazing man with those gentle, crystal clear blue eyes, and he's just sitting there in the corner and he's eating ice cream, and now she has become incredibly flustered and very self-conscious of what she's doing, and she can't keep track of what's going on, but she did manage to pay for her ice cream, and somehow she managed to throw all of the money on the floor, and now she's on the floor and she's gathering up all the money and she's trying to get it all together, and finally she grabs all of her stuff and she rushes out of the ice cream parlor, and she's standing on the step, and she's shaking. This was just an incredible thing. And she realizes she's not holding her ice cream. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I have to go back in there and get my ice cream. And this man, this gorgeous, beautiful, amazing man, is sitting over here watching my every move. He's going to think I'm just nuts. She takes a deep breath. She walks back in. She walks up to the counter and she looks around. And she doesn't see her ice cream. And in that moment, this beautiful crystal voice in the corner says, you put it in your purse. Now, my friends, the purpose of this story is to give us some identifiers as to what we tend to do with one another. We run into someone that we think is good, great, beautiful, wonderful, talented, rich, whatever, and we don't know how to act. We forget who we are, and we decide that they're more important than we could possibly be. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the truth. The first thing each one of us gets to accept is that we are all whole. We were all created in the perfection of the divine being, that master orchestrator, that creator of all life. We are perfect, we are whole, we are complete. It doesn't mean that we can all run a mile in 6 minutes. It doesn't mean that we can all ski down the slopes with this precision and perfection that you've never seen before. It doesn't mean that any one of us, including me, could stand here with a microphone and start singing to you and you would just be enthralled with my voice and my ability. Those are talents, those are skills, those are behaviors, those are things that we've been gifted with, but the innate being of us, that very core of who we are, is whole. And I want us to really get a handle on that this afternoon. I have a quote here from Richard Rohr that says, "Whole people see and create wholeness wherever they go. We get to the whole by falling down into the messy parts, so many times, in fact, that we long for and thirst for the wholeness and fullness of all things, including ourselves." Sounds like we get a little confused. Sounds like we manage to trip ourselves up from time to time. We are naturally and irresistibly drawn to the idea of wholeness. There is something within each one of us that is yearning to discover that part of ourselves, to realize the peace and the joy that is inherently ours. It belongs to each and every one of us. As we embrace our wholeness, we live each day wholly in the realm of consciousness. And that's WHOLLY, wholly, in the realm of consciousness. There's nothing that has to be repaired. There's nothing that has to be altered or changed. As we live our life from this place, we see a perspective shift in the life around us. We don't have to go out there and make everybody else do it a different way. The truth is, all we need to do is go within, recognize that we are all whole, all of us. We're all experiencing this life on earth, and allow others to be who they are and choose to be that authentic self that we are. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm waiting for that simple part to come up for me. What we can do in this place is we can let go of judgment. We can let go of that need and desire to compare. And unfortunately, for many of us, we've been taught how to compare ourselves to others since the day we first started to talk and walk. We were compared to someone else. We heard people cheer on someone who did something significant and not cheer us on. And it drove us to see life from a little bit of a warped perspective. What we want to do is look into our own hearts and minds, recognize that we are all part of the collective whole, the collective consciousness. We are all created as one, whole, perfect, and complete. And then do the things that we individually were placed here to do. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, gives us this quote: "The spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and eternal flame of spirit. Our charge, then, is to recognize, nurture, and express this divine spark of wholeness." Wow, how beautiful. To recognize it's within each of us, and then just to nurture it, to express it, to be it. He goes on to say in the Science of Mind textbook that we kindle this flame by living from our own divine center. We recognize it in those around us. We work for it in our community and in the world, and we look to the great way showers to inspire and guide us. And in all of this, the universe knows us as whole. How beautiful. So it's pretty simple. No matter what troubles we face, no matter what the conditions are that are out there, we have infinite opportunity to see them right and to experience the healing in any circumstance, any situation. By our place in Spirit's heart and by the power of our beliefs, we can invite the perfect love of God to bring us to a place of wholeness. And this is critical for each of us to get this, because we can't help a single solitary other human being if we haven't accepted this for ourselves. We can't come from that place of mindset or place of less than and try and support someone else in realizing their worth and their value as to who they are and how they are on this planet. So while we seek the sacred dimension of life, first, this is as we do this, first, this is a very sound spiritual guidance. We know that Spirit provides us for the tools to live an elegant life. I love that adjective. I don't think I've ever thought about my life as being elegant, that I'm living an elegant life, but it just puts a different bit of a spin on it for me, and I really like that. While we look at this, we know that God not only created us in its own image and placed us in the garden, Spirit gave us dominion over all life. Yes, my friends, that means we're in charge. Holy smoke. Did you think about that? We're in charge. It's up to us. Yeah, that's... we come to realize that through this conscious awareness and through the controlling of conditions, that it's not our highest spiritual calling, but it is exercising our dominion can remove the distractions of disappointment, failure, and feelings of less than. So it's not about pretending that things aren't happening and aren't in the place that they are. It's not about masking over the things we don't want to deal with. It's about being able to legitimately see what's going on, recognizing who we are in the process, and then asking or knowing what's mine to do. What is my contribution? Where do I take this from here? How can I do this? And that knowing, that faith in self, that I'm capable and competent, and that knowing and faith in Spirit divine, that whatever else it is I need, God will guide me. God will support me. Eric Butterworth says this to us: "You are a perfect idea in infinite mind. You are whole now. This wholeness is the only way the universe knows you." So what can you do this week? Well, one of the things you can do this week is you can take this little quote right here and you can make a mantra out of it. And you can speak it over and over again, because sometimes it is those affirmative statements, it's those little messages that we get that just really carry us through sometimes when we're having those struggles and those challenges. That ability to say, I am whole now. Let's say that right now. I am whole now. Just to have that knowing. Especially in a moment when you might feel that maybe you don't quite have it together. To just reinforce that, to reassure yourself. I have discovered that our sense of wholeness often has a lot to do with our expectations. And our expectations have to do with our desires. So I have something I want to attain to, I want to acquire, I want to be, I want to have whatever this is. So there's my desire. And then I have this expectation of how that's going to look and how I'm going to look when I get there. And then God has a totally different idea. You've been there, right? I think some of us have been there. But to go down that process and to go down that place, down those steps, and to look at it with the deepest levels of knowing that our yearning to experience the qualities of God is always available to us. It might not look like what we thought it would look like. It might not feel like what I thought it would feel like. But when it all comes to that final step, that final process, it's perfect. It's what I wanted and more, and then some. Joseph Campbell once said that we all want to have that feeling of the rapture of being alive. That excitement, that passion of just being alive. You know, I used to tell this story years ago. There is a group of people in the United States, well, they're all over the world, and they wake up every morning, every single morning excited, jazzed to meet the day. They can't hardly get out of bed fast enough, wolf down some breakfast, and get ready to go out and face the world. And the truth is, they're all under the age of 6. So what I encourage you to do this week is you are looking at your wholeness and that whole being that you are and how you want to express and feel the rapture of life. Go back into that 6-year-old being for a moment every morning and just see what you can create. Because I'm here to tell you that there's so much love and so much beauty and so much peace and so much quality of life in this world today. And each one of us has the divine right to experience it and express it. We just need to take that moment. Maybe be a kid again. That's what it's going to take. Ernest Holmes also says, every person represents an individualization of universal wholeness. The love, peace, joy, and freedom of spirit. The power of spirit expresses through every atom of our being, now, in this moment, right here, right now. So here's what happens. We're plugging along through life, and we're seeing all these other people doing all really cool stuff, and some are making more money than we are, and some are really having more fun than we are, and some are having more relationships than we are, and again, we've gone back into that little bit of comparison. And so we decide that something is really wrong in the world. We watch the news for 24 hours just for fun, because, why not? And then we see how horrific things are unfolding, and we think, oh my gosh, something's got to change. And so we decide we've got to go find some answers. We've got to go figure this out. And so here's some things we do. We get our chakras balanced. We step into some work with reflexology. We meditate. We chant a mantra. We join a drum circle. We drink green tea. We learn NLP. We study psychology. We get a psychic reading. We do jazzercise. We do Pilates. We do Qigong. We get some biofeedback. We step into kinesiology. We want to find out what our Enneagram type is. We become a vegetarian. We decide to eat only cabbage. Are you with me on this? Are we going down this road together? Okay, just checking. We try macrobiotics. We go organic. We refuse to eat anything that has GMO in it. We go to a sweat lodge. We take Chinese herbs. We go to India. We stare at the sun. We stare at the moon. We are looking, we are seeking, we are trying to find all these things that we can do. We write affirmations. We study Zen. We study magic. We go on a retreat. And let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. Nothing is wrong with these things. But no one of them is going to bring you to that place of awareness and wholeness. Only through your dedication, your desire, your ability to seek what's going on within, to trust in God, that's what's going to do it. So just take a deep breath right now for a moment. Can you feel it? Can you feel that energy that's surrounding you and filling you? Can you feel the love, the peace, the joy that you have been promised to experience in this life? Sometimes we just have to stop. We just get to stop and breathe and recognize that in this now moment, I don't need a thing. Everything I need is right here. For some of us, we're being supported by a chair. For some of us, we are just comfortable to be in our own skin. And that's it. That's all it takes. We were created in the full expression of the life and the power that created the entire universe. If you haven't been working on that faith that you have in this incredible, amazing power, this may be a good week to spend some more time in just paying more attention to how we can have that deeper faith, how we can allow that to just be embodied in it so that we know that no matter what, God's got my back. God is supporting me. Spirit is guiding me. Too often we tend to see the world as broken, and it's not. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, but we're not broken. Let's take a look this week at when expectations get in the way, and let's look at understanding more and truly seeking the truth of who each and every one of us is. I have a quote here from Parker Palmer. We are born with a seed of selfhood that contains our spiritual DNA of our uniqueness, an encoded birthright of who we are, why we are here. We may abandon that knowledge as the years go by, but it never abandons us. So it's just like that concept, and I believe Linda mentioned it in the prayer this afternoon. Spirit's always here, always on, always available. Always. Always. You don't get that kind of service from any other place. So let's start aligning ourselves with that knowledge, that knowing, that awareness of who we are as divine beings of the One, and move forward in that process, knowing that we are here and that God has got us. So back to that list of things I told you that we have a tendency to do when we're trying to figure it all out. Maybe not, but maybe you decided to go on an airplane ride. I did that on Friday. I had always wanted to fly in a very small plane. I don't know why. When I'm standing in the hangar looking at that little Cessna, I'm thinking, that is one little plane. And if any of you remember, Friday it was kind of cold, lots of overcast conditions. My dear friend Dave said he'd take me up in this plane and we'd find a break in the clouds and we would fly for a couple hours. And we got in this plane and I realized that the only thing between me and falling is this piece of glass. If it's glass, whatever it is, the window of the plane. I got a door here, I got my pilot right here, I've got all the instruments in front of me, and I'm thinking, when was it I decided I wanted to do this? And is this a really good idea? We flew from Colorado Springs to Alamosa. We landed in Alamosa. It was incredible. It was beautiful. It was so smooth. He told me that I must have been praying because he didn't expect to have such a smooth flight because of all the clouds. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, really? I don't like the bouncy stuff in a plane, but all right. Especially in a little plane because it's yeah. Anyway, so we get back in the plane in Alamosa. Now you can see that the cloud coverage has shifted greatly. And we're looking over in the direction which we came, or over to this mountain pass, which I could not see, but he's telling me there's one there. And he's talking about how high we need to get above the clouds. And maybe we'll go under some of the clouds, but maybe we'll go over some of the clouds, but we're going to find a break. And then there was that moment in time. And I think it was more like 25 minutes, when all I could see beyond the instrument panel was cloud coverage. And at one point in time, snowflakes are flying in. Of course, we didn't want any snow. We were talking about that earlier, and I'm like, going, oh, okay, God, we don't need the snow right now. And I don't know if you've ever been in a place in the clouds where there's heavy coverage. I don't like to drive in it. I know that for me. But in that moment, I'm thinking, there was nothing to see. I knew the world was out there. I didn't know how long it was going to take us to get there. I was getting a little, not uncomfortable. I probably was closer to boredom because I wanted to see the sky. I wanted to see the clouds. I wanted to see all the stuff, and I wasn't seeing anything. But there was a part of my brain going, what if we can't get out of this? Now, of course, that's kind of a ridiculous thought, but it came across. And then all of a sudden, before I even noticed it, he said, and that's what we've been looking for. And then you could see the break, and you could see the ground, and you could see the clouds above, and I could see some sky, and it was like, oh my goodness. No time during that flight did I look out at planet Earth or the sky and see anything that looked broken or missing. I didn't see anything missing. I didn't see any just kind of little holes where something was supposed to be and it wasn't there. Everything was exactly where it needed to be. Everything was unfolding in absolute perfection. And yes, we had a couple little bumpies, but it was really nothing compared to what we could have experienced. In a couple hours into the flight back, we're back in Colorado Springs, and we've got another perfect landing, and it was wonderful, and it was incredible. And I thought, I felt so engaged in the moment. Because what else was I going to do? I wasn't going to pull out a tablet and start planning out a talk or something. I mean, I am here. I'm witnessing. I'm in it right now. And it was beautiful and it was incredible. And I felt whole. I felt supported. I knew we were going to come back to Colorado Springs. I knew that plane was going to land. I knew we were going to get out of that plane again at some moment in time. And about the time we hit the runway, well, we didn't hit it, we landed gently. Big, huge snowflakes started to fall, and I thought, oh, isn't this amazing? So this week, what I encourage you to do is take those maybe mundane tasks that you do, or take those things that you've always wanted to do, and then you finally get to go do it, and you forget to be in the moment of doing it. You forget what it's like to be a part of that space, and to really experience it and really be a part of it for that moment. And then when you come away from that, how did that feel? What is going on in the body? What does that feel like to you? Because for me, it was incredibly refreshing. And I wasn't screaming and dancing and jumping up and down, but I was just at peace in a way that I can't say that I have been for quite some time. It just was different. It was just very, very unique. And it was absolutely perfect and complete in that process. So as we close today, I want to give you a quote that I have here from our dear Dr. Roger Teal, who says, "In true prayer, we stop forcing or trying to make things happen. The purpose of prayer is to awaken inwardly to the presence and power of God so our consciousness can become empowered to accept the good of God already given to us." So this week, as we're embracing our wholeness and as we're struggling, and as we step back into judgment, and as we step back into those places of comparison, and as we think someone's better than we are, and we go through all of these wonderful things we've been going through, I want us all to take a moment and realize what prayer can do for us. Because when we pray, we are not directing God to do anything. It's already in motion. All of the things that we could possibly want, desire, whatever, it's already available, it's already here. All we are doing is we are adjusting our mindset. We are shifting our attention. We are recognizing that we are connected to this one power, this one being, and embracing that reality and feeling good about that. And then we're saying, okay, and then this is what I get to do in this place. This is how my mind gets to shift. This is how I get to embrace this situation or this condition in my life. This is what I get to make happen. We are instructing our minds to understand and embrace the truth of our being. And our minds need that reminder all the time. Because when we don't remind our mind, it goes back in time warps and picks up some disastrous memory we have from childhood and tries to reenact that for us today. oh, wait, this might be this. Is this what's going on? And so that's when we go to prayer, and that's when we go in and we reaffirm and align who we are and how we are. As you leave the sanctuary today, my desire and prayer for you is to know that you are whole. Anyone who is watching this online, my desire for you is in this moment right now to recognize the wholeness of your being. To know that no one and no thing can come between you and God. No one and no thing can make you broken, can make you less than, as long as you are willing to embrace the truth of who you are in the fact that you are whole in the eyes of God right now and in every moment going forward. Please pray with me. So as we just take a deep breath into this moment right now, we actually breathe in the very energy, the essence that is God. We allow our lungs to fill with that beautiful oxygen, that beautiful air that maintains life, that causes our lungs to expand and our brains to become alert. And as we breathe out, we know that we are also breathing out the very energy and essence that is God, and we are sharing it with everyone in the world, and we are in this place right now because we are one with the one. We are connected to the divine, in the divine, as the divine. We know that God is all there is. We know that this being, this expression of life exists everywhere. And for each of us right here and right now, we have that awareness that we are whole and one with Spirit, one in the power. It's good, it's perfect, and we are complete. And so as we leave this sanctuary today, or as we turn and go on to the work that is around us, let us keep remembering this and refusing to allow the conditions and the situations of the world to trip us up and cause us to feel as though we're failing or as though we are separate, because we're not. So right here and right now, in this space right now, I bless all people everywhere, knowing that all are of the divine, knowing that all are completed whole, and that each and every one of us has a purpose right here on planet Earth, and it's a great purpose. And when we just live our lives authentically, our greatness is demonstrated for all to see. And for this I give thanks, not only for me, but for everyone, knowing that the goodness and the greatness that is God is in all things, and it's perfect and it's beautiful, and by God, it already exists in the mind of God. So we just let this go, we let it be, and together we say, and so it is.
Healed, whole, love, talking about being healed, feeling whole, and knowing we are loved. There is a song in my soul, sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, you know it sings I'm whole. There is a song in my soul, sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, you know it sings I'm whole. I am whole, 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 I am whole. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. I take a big deep breath and I can feel I'm healed. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. Take a breath and know I feel I am healed. I am healed, I am in my heart sings I am loved. Whispers in my ear, it sings you are loved. There is a song in my heart sings I am loved. Whispers in my ear, it says you are loved. Ah, we're loved. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved. There is a song in our hearts, sings of my joy, bubbles up from deep inside, sweet pure joy. There's a song in my soul, sings of my joy, bubbles up from deep inside, pure sweet joy. There's joy. There's joy. Yeah. There's joy. There's joy. Pure sweet joy. There's a song in my heart, sings I'm whole, bubbles up from deep inside, sings I'm whole. I like those words, even though they might be wrong. It bubbles up from deep inside, pure sweet joy. I got a job for you. It's easy, just like saying I'm whole now. It's easy. I'm gonna sing I'm whole, and you're gonna sing I'm whole. I'll help you. Ready? I'm whole, and you sing I'm whole. Yeah. I'm loved. What do you say? I'm loved. Good. I'm healed. What are we? I'm healed. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Feel peace. I feel peace. Sing I'm whole. I'm whole. What are you? I'm whole. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy. We feel joy. We feel joy. There is a song in our soul, sings we are whole, bubbles up from deep inside. We are whole. 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 We are happy, healed, and whole.
Hello, I'm Reverend Jenn Wilde, Senior Minister for New Dawn Center for Spiritual Living. New Dawn Center is a global community, and we welcome all people, all paths, all ways of thinking, all philosophies. So know that you are welcome here, and thank you for joining our online community.